What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, I got Johnathon Heilbroun. Oh, wait a minute. You've heard that name? Oh, it's kind of familiar to you. Oh, you've never heard of Johnathon Heilbroun? You're going to get to know Johnathon Heilbroun in the next few minutes, so stick around. You don't want to miss this. This week's shows, I will be at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, my one public show this week, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Yeah, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. Friday night at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open. Pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're at it, come on out to the Rab. It's always a good time. Man, it was packed last week. Oh, my goodness. Got so full. Wall to wall. Yeah, they couldn't. I don't think they had a seat available. The security, the bouncer had to, I think he was having to turn people away. Nah, they never turn anybody away. If you got to stand around while you're waiting to sing, you come on out to the Rab. And I was at Spectators last week, too, on Saturday night. That was fun. Spectators Grill and Cafe in North Little Rock, Arkansas. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I got to give a shout out to those folks. And thanks to Ricky Z for letting me cover for him. But yeah, one public show, and I think on Saturday I have a wedding or something. I'm just excited. I'm excited I still get to do this entertainment, this DJ thing after all these years. Speaking of entertainment, let's get into it with Johnathon Heilbroun. I got him on the Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out my video version on youtube.com/user/keysdan. All right, Skyping Johnathon Heilbroun now. Look at him. The man is technically savvy, technologically pronounced, profound, all that. What's up? Hi, I'm Keys Dan. What's your name?
I'm Johnathon Heilbroun.
Johnathon Heilbroun. And of Johnathon Heilbroun music. Well, you know, I'm just getting to know you. I've been following you around a little bit on your social media, which could be kind of creepy since I'm an old man and you're a young man, but there's reasons for that. You're a young man that's stepping out into the world and showing some talents, and give the people an idea of who a Johnathon Heilbroun is.
I'm a 14-year-old boy that started music last year. Well, I've been singing all my life. I started performing out last year.
Well, when you say all your life, what does all your life mean? Okay, 14. I'm trying to think back what I was doing when I was 14, trying to get a little bit of a relation. Let's see. I was collecting comic books. I was playing some football. I was doing swimming. I think back then I might have been either just about to be the captain of my swim team or was in the swim team for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't remember. I don't remember picking up a guitar and being able to pick anything that resembled being a song. I mean, I collected a lot of records when I was a kid, and if I would have known that one of my fellow classmates was making a record, I probably would have put that in my collection. And then at the next party, I would have said, "Hey, have you checked out this album by Johnathon Heilbroun?" And all the kids would have said, isn't he in my English class? Yeah, that's the same one. I mean, what are the kids in school thinking about you stepping out on stage playing for the people?
Well, most of them are into pop music, like Ariana Grande and all that. So most of them don't really care about country music, but the ones that do are very supportive.
Well, the thing about it is, Johnathon Heilbroun, and I know you got that one song that I've been able to find. It's not one of today's country songs. You have written it in a style, or could it have been? Was it Tony Black that wrote that for you?
No, sir.
Okay, that was something that who put that song to get together, and what's the name of that song?
It was me and my uncle.
Okay, give credit where credit is due. You could say names here, shout outs.
His name is Jeff Allman.
Jeff Allman. Is he an Allman brother?
He is not.
Oh, okay. Say no relation.
No relation, although it can be confused.
Yeah, that's a very famous name in music for sure, man. To grow up with something like that kind of a moniker, to be like, oh yeah, I write music. My name is Allman. No relation. You got to keep saying that. Oh, but okay, I feel for him. But so how is that your favorite uncle?
One of them. He's definitely up there.
I'm trying to get you in trouble with your family. See what I'm doing? I'm baiting you. Look, I got you on the line. No, he didn't fall for it. He didn't fall for the bait. No, it's good. It's good to be a family man, especially in country music. But what I'm talking about, when I listened to that song, and it's called I Sit Alone, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the song that you have out there in the world, and that's your first offering as a singer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. That song is written not like today's country music, where it's all about trucks and tailgating and a girl and drinking a beer and having one. No, it is written in the old style of maybe the 30s, the 40s, maybe even the 50s. It's a classic country song before it's even been put out. Is that something that your uncle came up with? He said, hey, no, play it like this. Put a little twang in it. Well, don't be like everybody else. How did this come about?
We came up with it together. So what I wanted was an old style, but with a new twang. So that's kind of how that came together.
Well, I think you got it, man. But who was influencing that old style? Who's showing you those records? How do you know about old style? Who's bringing you up properly is what I'm trying to get at.
You can just raise your hand, Dad. My dad.
Okay, there might be an Alan Heilbroun in the background there, making sure that this is chaperoned properly. And since we have the audio version that I'm going to be putting out, but if you haven't, if you can check out the video version, you'll see this smiling young man right there, just bouncing in his chair, nervous to be talking to this old man because he doesn't know what's going to be asked of him. I want you to tell people whatever you want to tell them. And if Alan wants to stick his face in there just to prove, hey, he was there. I was there. I saw the whole thing. I heard it all. Go ahead. Pop your head in. There he is.
Hey, yo.
All right. Now, that's right. Now take the hook and hook him back out of there. Yeah, he's out of there. No, Johnathon, I mean, really, this is all about you. I want you to give credit where credit is due. I want you to give lots of shout outs. I want you to talk about, what you like about being a kid in this world. And where are you at right now?
I'm in my dad's office in Griffin.
Okay, and this is in Concord, Georgia. Tell me about Concord, Georgia. If you're given let's see, the good things to do in Concord, Georgia. I want you to be on the tourism bureau of Concord, Georgia, and tell people, hey, if you're coming to Concord, Georgia,
yes,
do this.
So in this great, amazing small town of Concord, Georgia, we have absolutely nothing to do. We have a cafe called the Concord Cafe. Very, very good. If you're around the area, you should definitely check it out. But most of the things we have to do in Zebulon or Griffin or bigger city like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, finding things to do for a kid. Look, I grew up in kind of a small area of a big town. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but like the Everglades part of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, like out in the sticks. We had ATCs. I had a 3-wheel Honda, and my buddy had a YZ80, and another one had a YZ125, and we had many different bikes. There was a Honda Odyssey in the mix, and we'd trade bikes around, and we'd take turns jumping gators. Don't jump gators, boys and girls. Don't do it. It's very cruel to the creatures of the earth, and make sure that you take care of all the animals of the planet and whatever. Okay, no, but
it's only cruel if you hit them. If you miss them, it's fine.
Okay, well, I'm not going to confirm or deny, but you're in a small town, and you can get into trouble being in a small town. My brother, in Key Largo, there's really only a few things to do: fish and scuba dive and get in trouble. And if you're in a small town, you could get yourself in trouble. I mean, you're trying to expand your horizons, but you found a way out of trouble, hopefully. I mean, what are you and your friends getting into in small town Georgia?
The most we do is play, on the PlayStation together. But I used to own a 4-wheeler, and me and my dad and my mom would go riding down the road.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I do drive around, and I did get in trouble riding my 3-wheeler on the street. Okay, yeah. So the sheriffs pulled me over and said, "You're not supposed to be riding this on the street because it's a all-terrain vehicle, and it's only supposed to be in the all-terrain, not on the street." Did you ever get in trouble riding in the street?
See, what we would do is we would ride on the side over towards the ditch, but not in the ditch. So
you're a smart feller. You're smarter than I was at 14 years old. And I probably shouldn't have had that. But I think I got that. Oh, I know why I got that ATC. I got it because I had good grades. And my grandparents showed pity on me because up till then, I was finding it difficult to get good grades, but I got straight A's that semester, and my grandfather said, "Hey, go out to the back of my truck and get me a soda." So I go out to the back of his truck, and it's dark, mind you, pitch dark. Like I said, I'm out in the country part of Fort Lauderdale, unincorporated Broward County in Florida, and I go and I get his soda, and then I bring it back to him in the house, and he says, "Didn't you see it?" I said, "No, I didn't see it." Let's go back out there. There's an ATC out there, a 3-wheeled all-terrain vehicle. How are you doing in school? Well, I mean, what are your favorite things to do in school? Well, what do you, I'm trying to figure out, lay out how you became who you are right now.
Well, I played football from, first grade all the way up to 8th grade, which I just finished. So I did finish. No summer school. Haven't missed a grade.
What grade are you in now?
I'm going into 9th.
Going into 9th. Would that be high school, or is that middle school?
That's high school.
So you're going to be a freshman in high school. Because in middle school, you were the king. In 8th grade, you were the top of the food chain. You could pick on the little 6th graders, which, you may or may not have done. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Wait, no, you're shaking your head, which is not good for the audio people. Tell people how you were as the 8th grader, ruling the school. Tell the people.
Well, I mean, we didn't really, pick on them a lot, but when we did, it was fun because they would pick on us back in 7th grade, and we were all just kind of in it together.
Well, it's the rite of passage, and I know that when I went to 9th grade at Western High School in Davie, Florida, Davie is a rodeo type town. You wouldn't expect it in the Fort Lauderdale, Broward, South Florida, born and raised in Miami, South Florida, that place. But in Davie, there's rodeos, there's country, it's cowboys, and we were the Western Wildcats, and I had my share. I had a cowboy hat and a duster and snakeskin boots, trying to come into my own. But that didn't happen in 9th grade. I think I was picked on. How are you feeling about skipping all the way from ruling the school to being, I'm a freshman?
I'm feeling good about it because I know a lot of the high schoolers, so I think I'm gonna be fine.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, small town. All right, we were big enough to where a lot of the middle schoolers at Pioneer Middle in Cooper City, where we went to middle school, some of them went to one high school and some of them went to another high school. So we got split up quite a bit. But I'm guessing from first grade all the way through, are you dealing with the same people? Have you had the same friends from kindergarten on?
No, sir. I was homeschooled from first grade to seventh grade.
I am. My wife is homeschooling our daughter right now from birth till now. She's 16 years old, and I don't see her wanting to go to public school. What made you want to do the transition from homeschool to public school? Was that your choice?
I'm not in a public school. I'm in a private school in Griffin. It's called Griffin Christian Academy. Well, actually, Trinity just bought them, so it's Trinity Academy now. But it just seemed I've wanted to go to school, and my parents were like, "Hold on, let's wait and keep you homeschooled." And so when middle school came around, that's when I got to go to school.
It's different, because I worry. I know my mother worries, and that she's not getting the interaction, the advantage of the interaction of being in a private or public school with other kids is that you get that these are skills that you're going to use for the rest of your life, working well with others. And sometimes the homeschooler would miss out on that. But there are homeschool groups and homeschool programs, and she's been a dancer her whole life. So she interacts with the kids. She interacts with kids. But for you, when you were homeschooling, did you interact with kids, or were you home alone playing the PlayStation?
Well, like I said a while ago, I did play football, so I was around some of my friends. But and I also was in a homeschool group down where we live.
See, people don't know that. People think that in homeschool, you are by yourself. The only people that you know is your mom and dad and nobody else. But you're a football, which is a nice team sport. Yes, it's dividing amongst people. Should kids play football? I think it was a great sport to play. I think it's nice to be in a team sport. And there are so many helmets and pads and, there's precautions to kids. But, either boys are going to bang each other's heads without the helmets, or you're going to put them in a team sport and let them, bang on it for the amusement of the rest of the town. So first,
you need to take the not safe version or the safer version.
That's right. It's slightly safer. I know. People. I mean, do you feel like it affected you at all? I mean, football didn't affect me none. Football didn't affect me none. I mean, it didn't affect me none. Okay, maybe it did. Maybe a little bit. But do you feel like you got banged in the noggin a little bit? Did you get hurt at all playing football?
Very few times I actually got hurt. I broke a wrist one time. I'm not saying that to scare anybody, but it's game. But broke my wrist one time, and I think that was the only bone I broke playing football.
I think the first and worst injury, now that you're making me think of things, we were playing volleyball, and I jammed my thumb, hitting the ball up, and my thumb got dislocated, and the coach came up and says, hey, look over there, bam, and pulled it out for me. And he said, put some dirt on it, get back in the game. He really said, put some dirt on it, get back in the game. Did you get that? The type of coaching that you get. Sometimes you get a coach that's, really into the earth and life is good and just go out there and have some fun. Or you get some, I want you to kill those guys. I want you to get them. What was the coach's style?
Mostly the second one, during my rec league. But middle school, it was a little bit more relaxed. And that's funny you said that because it made me think of something. I broke my pinky playing football. So my coach threw me the ball. He threw it so hard when it hit my hand, I missed it, and it jammed my pinky and broke it at the same time for some. I don't know how I did it. I don't know. Anyway, and so one of the high school coaches, because my middle school coach didn't know how to do it, but one of the high school coaches said, "Look over there." Like he said, "Look up" or something like that, and he just yanked it, and it popped real good, and it kept hurting. It never got better, and then we took it to the doctor, and they were like, "Oh, you broke it." And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, it wiggles. It hurts a little bit, coach. That's all right. Get back in the game. Now, all right, here's something that was controversial over the years. Did everybody get a participation trophy, or did you only get a trophy or a ribbon when you won the game?
We only got trophies when we won the games in rec league and in middle school.
But, I mean, did everybody get a certificate? Hey, thanks for participating. Here, put this on your wall or wrap fish in it, whatever you want to do.
In rec league, they did, but we did have like little titles that we gave some people.
I mean, it feels good to get recognized for something, when you're playing a game and you play it well and you win the game. Oh my goodness, everybody going out for ice cream or pizza afterwards. Oh yeah, you feel good. Yeah, and it gives you that endorphins, that rush that you want to keep chasing your whole life. That, hey, you know what? I want to do good at my job. I want to succeed. I want to be the best I can be, whether I'm washing dishes or performing brain surgery. You want to be the best you could be. Now, tell me, have you done any of those jobs outside of work? I mean, have you done a job? I remember when I was 13, 14, I was bagging groceries, mowing lawns, babysitting. Any of those jobs come across your table?
I don't do them commercially, like go out for people and do them. I do help my mom at a food ministry every week.
That's
week, but it is every week.
Well, but wait a minute, food ministry. Oh, you're like helping the unhoused. I thought they only had to eat on Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's what everybody else thinks.
No, we do it every week.
Yeah, people got to eat. You're doing a good thing for the community. It's nice to give back. How does that feel when you go and help out your mama?
It feels good. It's hard work, but it feels good.
Well, do you cook the food? Do you serve the food? What are you doing in there?
We what it is, it's a bunch of non-perishable stuff that, well, not, I wouldn't say non-perishable. It's a bunch of stuff that the stores, it's usually right before or after the sell-by date. So it's still good, but it's not,
Well, you're giving people lessons there. People don't know that the FDA has very strict guidelines for food, and a lot of times that food really it'll last 2 or 3 days after the sell-by date. Milk and bread and all that kind of thing. I mean, I know I got bread I got to keep for a week because I'm the only one that eats this kind of bread. So, and I know that it's probably 2 or 3 days past the sell-by. It's still good. But no, it's nice. It's nice to have people in the community, the stores, give you dented cans. I know that they do that sometimes, or maybe fruit that might be brown that somebody might not want to buy. But I like a nice banana that's a little ripe. I don't like those green bananas. No, but it hey, and the unhoused, the people that are less fortunate, it's good to take care of them. I know we have some places here in Conway, and I want to give a shout out to Coho, the Conway City of Hope Outreach, Conway, Arkansas. That's where I end up. Oh, that's where I'm at now. I'm in Arkansas. I'm not still in Fort Lauderdale. I miss the blue of Fort Lauderdale, but here I am in the green of Arkansas. It's still the South. What's that?
Arkansas is green.
It is. It's green rather than blue. It's not ocean blue like I used to be in Florida. Now it's Arkansas green. Really nice.
I always thought Arkansas was just a desert of nothing but brown.
That's Arizona, man. Arizona has the painted desert. There's so much to see in this country. Have you done any traveling with the family?
Yes, sir. I've done a lot. We've gone anywhere from Pennsylvania to Colorado, in between there, Kansas, Texas. Texas is probably my favorite because there's so much to see there.
Oh my goodness. I remember driving across country, and that was the longest state to get through. I was driving on I-10. This was probably the first long trip that I did by myself, all by myself. I was all by myself. And I got in my van and drove across country, DJing parties. But I remember going from East Texas to West Texas on I-10. Oh my goodness, it was a long way. But I did stop for different parties, and every city that I stopped in, it felt like a whole nother. It didn't feel like it was in the same state. That state is so big.
I mean, you can go from Dallas, which is comfortable for Dallas Fort Worth area. It's comfortable. You can walk out there in blue jeans, and it feels good. And then you travel all the way down close to the El Paso, Mexico borderline, and you think the bottom of your shoes is going to melt.
I agree, sir. I agree. Jonathan, man, it's nice to be well-traveled. Yeah, I've never been out of this country, but there's so much to see in our great country. We're very fortunate to be here in the U.S. of A. And I know one of the videos that's on, I did peruse your dad's page, and there's a video of you, looks like in your living room, singing a song for the soldiers, for this great country. I thought it was very nice, very well done. You had a lot of nice words. Is that on your page as well, or is that only on Alan's page?
It is on mine.
Okay, okay, now I did find, and I want people to be able to find you. You have the Johnathon Heilbroun music, Heilbroun music, and Heilbroun. That is German, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Did you ever do your ancestry? Because I'm half Cuban, half Irish, and I can't get past my grandfather. I got roots like a radish. And I know people that got roots. My wife's got roots like an oak tree. She can trace all the way back to her family signing at the Declaration of Independence. I went, what? What? How did that happen? No, have you ever traced your roots back?
I have not. I've thought about it and I've looked at it, but I never tried it.
Well, there's always somebody in the family. You already mentioned your uncle. We already saw your dad peek his head in. There's always somebody in the family that does the genealogy or keeps the records, the family historian. It used to be my Aunt Biba before she died, and now it's my grandma. She's 92 years old. Yeah, my grandma is the historian. She'll keeps the records of the family. Is there anybody in your family that keeps the records that you learned the most history of where your roots are?
Not that I know of.
Okay. All right. But I mean, what have you learned about where your family's from? Have they always been in Georgia? What kind of work does your dad do? What kind of work does your mom do? Where are they from?
All I know is that we so now I'm guessing here. I don't know for sure.
I like fuzzy history. No, nobody look anything up. It's all according to Johnathon Heilbroun. Go on.
So what I was looking on Google, and you know how there's like websites that'll tell you your family crest if you put in your last name and all that. Well, I found our family crest, and it was a while before that. And so a little bit went down the road, and you know those storage locker auctions?
Yeah. I've lost two storages in my life, and I'm sure all that stuff got auctioned, but that's another story. Go ahead.
So there's a lady that owns storage lockers in our town. So we went to one of her auctions and we bought one. And one of the coins that was in there was a German coin, and it had our family crest on it. So I'm thinking we were like something important in Germany at some time. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say we were emperor, because we could be like, what's his name? Dude that's on the $100 bill.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah,
Benjamin Franklin. What it is? We could be like Benjamin Franklin. He was just an important dude in the country and ended up on a coin. But that's as far back as I know that we go. But for the most part, I think we've been for a long time.
man, that is pretty cool to find a coin. Like I said, my wife's got roots like an oak tree. She has a family that has a castle somewhere in England. I'm like, well, maybe it's Ireland, Gallifrey. I don't know. But anyway, she's told me several times, and of course, me being a guy, I forget everything. But her family's got a castle. There's like an old church that has her name in the pews, and I'm like, really? There's stained glass that that has her family name in there. I go, man, that's pretty cool. What can I get? My grandpa. I knew that guy. Came from Cuba. Okay, sounds good. And that's all I know. And I hardly know my dad's side. So it's nice. It's nice to know your roots, and that's country music right there. I mean, getting back to it, all this is fodder. It's all where you come from. In fact, that's a song, Where I Come From. It feeds in to country. But what kind of songs are you listening to? I know Alan was the one that he raised his hand. What kind of music is he putting on the turntable, if you have a turntable, or in the cassette player, if you have a cassette player, or the 8-track player? I am dating myself. What is an 8-track player, Grandpa? No, I mean a CD, MP3, anything? What's he playing for you?
Most of the time it's 90s and 80s country. Every morning we listen, not anymore because it's summer, but every morning we listen to the radio in the truck, 925 The Bear, not sponsored.
No, but hopefully Johnathon Heilbroun's music is going to be played on 92.5 The Bear. Rawr. Okay, go ahead.
But most of it's like Alan Jackson, George Strait, some George Jones, Merle Haggard. I'm trying to think. It's not all Dad.
Well, because I'm thinking the influence you got is even further back. Could be Marty Robbins. Could be Hank Williams Sr. Could be, hey, even Hank Jr. He was old country. But, a lot of Hank Jr. A lot of Hank Jr. I mean, that's a certain kind of country. That's an outlaw country, where
my favorite.
Yeah, you may or may not get some airplay because it's rebellious. Him and George Jones and Willie Nelson, they're kind of rebellious. So maybe they were hit and miss. And some of the true country artists would have been, we don't want to play that guy because he's outlaw. He does things that we don't like. Even Johnny Cash, they had values onto themselves. They did things that maybe people didn't like, but they did it because they liked it. What kind of artist, and you're just starting out, this is like, I'm on the first floor of this elevator, the Johnathon Heilbroun elevator going up. What kind of an artist do you want to be? What do you want out of music, or what do you want out of this career? Do you want to be a recording artist? Do you want to play weddings and parties? Do you want to be the guy in front of 50,000 people screaming your name, Johnathon Heilbroun, Heilbroun, Heilbroun? What kind of artist do you want to be?
Definitely the last one. More of kind of like Morgan Wallen. He's not really outlawish, but he's like on the fence, kind of.
Well, he's definitely had his controversy. Okay. And that's the one thing. That's another thing that you have to deal with as a young person. You're out here on social media. You say something. And look, when I said something when I was 10 years old, I said all kinds of stupid stuff to my buddies. We called each other all kinds of names. But if I would have put that on Twitter, if I would have put that on Facebook, Instagram, TikToked it, oh my gosh, I would have been canceled like a stamp. And you have to be so careful in this day and age. Do you? But are people going to see the light? They see either you have to be careful or you can just not give a care. What I mean, are you going to write about things? Oh, this, oh yeah, this has commercial value. I better write about that. Or are you going to write about things that you want?
Definitely things that I want. Not really a commercial value kind of person where it doesn't mean anything, because that's what a lot of new country music has come to. There's these guys that I was in jail 30 years, and dude hasn't even lived 30 years, and he's probably in prison. Merle Haggard wrote all his stuff. He was in actual prison, and most of his stuff I think all of his stuff is true. He wrote all his stuff, he sang.
Well, here you're writing this song. What is the I Sit Alone? What does that mean? What is that about?
So me and the girl got together, and then she broke up with me. The whole summer went by, and she wanted to get back with me. And I said yes. And then we tried again, and it didn't work out again. And then poof came the song.
It's amazing how many times a girl can inspire you. I've been through that relationship. I've been through it. Oh my goodness. Yes. Where, when a man loves a woman, he will do anything for her. He will do anything for her. Even try again. And sometimes it works, but most of the time, most of the time it does not. If you made that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sometimes you're sitting alone.
Sometimes you're sitting alone. So, man, and that's you and your uncle. Now, what did your uncle put into that? What did you come up with the rhythm or the words, or were you sitting at a desk writing yourself? Did you actually use pen and paper, or is there an app for that?
I don't know if I wrote Google Docs or a Word document, or I don't know what I wrote it on, but it wasn't a pen and paper. I did write it on Google Doc, Word, something like that. But and then so I came up with the chorus, and he came up with the verses and the bridge, and then we both figured out a way that we wanted to go.
See, both of those parts of the song are very valuable, because a good chorus could sell that record. I mean, yes, the song, the meat of it is the story, but a good chorus, a good hook, is what all your fans, all 50,000 of those people screaming in front of you, are going to be singing along with you. And what's the chorus? Go ahead, hit me with the chorus.
Hold on. Here's my guitar, Dad.
Man's always got a guitar sitting next to him. Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
Let's see. So tonight I sit wondering why our love is gone. And our fall, and why I can't be your man. I remember all the things you said, and the questions running through my head. What did I do? What went wrong? Now my dreams are forever gone. Here I am without you. I sit alone.
That was cool, man. Hey, music hardly ever comes over good on the phone, but I think we got the idea. Man, I put you on the spot, and here you are. Come out with the singing. You didn't even do a vocal exercise. There was no me, you. You was like right into it. Bam. You had that thing in the back of your head. What's that?
I did that before.
Oh, for sure. You've done that. Yeah, you've done that before. Well, tell me, how did the music come about? I mean, you said you've been singing since you were a little baby boy, but when did did you get actual guitar lessons? And when did that guitar come to you? And who gave you that guitar? Your first one.
So it was the day after Christmas. Or it was a day or two. Was it day after? Day or two after Christmas. And my parents went to the Guitar Center and got me a Taylor GS Mini. Hashtag not forget. They got me a GS Mini, and I started taking guitar lessons in January of last year.
You actually taking lessons. See, and then Taylor and Martin are like the big names in guitars. I'm not familiar what a GS Mini is, but it sounds, I mean, those two, that Taylor, the guitar name is like the big name. Is that the expensive one, or is that like the starter kit that most kids start off with?
It's like the in-between kind of. It's the in-between guitar.
I mean, so what made them want to get you a guitar? Okay, there's two types of parents. There's the carpenter that will hammer you in the direction that they want you to go in. You're going to be a doctor. Bam, bam, bam. You're going to take everything that you need to, every class that you need to be a doctor. Or you could be a gardener, and they give you all the tools that you want. Oh, you want to go to drama? Oh, that's fine. You want to learn how to sculpt? That's great. You want to learn how to play guitar? Now, what made you want to get the guitar? Did anybody else in your family have a guitar? Did your uncle have the guitar?
My dad has a guitar. Actually, started me playing. He taught me the first three chords, the G, C, and D. And then I started taking lessons. So I kind of had a little bit of knowledge before lessons because he taught me. But my uncle also has a guitar, and he's a phenomenal guitar player.
Okay, well that sounds like brothers grew up playing music together. Did they?
They did.
They did. I'm sure Dad's shaking his head just off camera, but that's good. I'm glad, man. That brings family together, because there's nothing, and I've said it before, man. There's nothing more important than family. Keeping your family together. You have any brothers and sisters?
I have one sister who just graduated college.
Hey, all right, Mazel Tov, to quote my Jewish friends. That's fantastic. What's she going to be when she grows up?
Civil engineer.
Civil engineer?
Yes, sir.
We need more engineers. We need people to build things, design things. Everybody can't do TikTok videos or podcasts. Uh-oh, I just sold myself out. I do other things. No, but no, I mean, it's good to be able to work with your hands, to be able to guide people, to have a brain. Hey, big ups to your sister. That's fantastic. Are you, how far in school do you want to go? Well, I mean, what do you want to be when you grow up besides the music? Is there any other interest, or is this where you want to go?
So this is where I mainly want to go. So like, if it happens, that's where I'm going to be. So I'm probably going to finish high school, and if I'm already, I'm there, I'm famous and stuff, I'm going to stick with music. But if I'm not quite famous, I'm going to go to college for engineering job, for engineering degree, but I'm still going to do music even through college. Yeah. I'll probably never quit doing music.
It's nice, you a lot of people that I've talked to on this podcast, sitting right where you are, they have day jobs, but their weekends, their nights, they play music. They have fun, and if it makes them some money, a little extra cheese, that's great. But some have also bet on themselves. Some have said, look, I finished high school. I wasn't very good there, but I had this music in my pocket, so I bet on myself. They struggled. They struggled quite a bit, but without the struggle, without the pain, if you can make it through. Yeah. Oh, okay. I did see a philosophy. The two steps to doing anything is start something. That's the first step, and then step number 2: don't quit. Just keep going. Just keep going. And that's a good philosophy. Is to be the best and keep learning. And I want you to give a shout out to your teacher, the person that's teaching you and possibly putting you on this path to country stardom.
His name is Johnny Rolls, so check him out if you're in the Griffin, Georgia, Atlanta metro area. He's if it has strings on it, he can play.
Well, does he teach out of a school or out of his house or what?
He has an office. Is it an office? Studio that he teaches out of.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of studios, and you are playing out now, you have this song. It was produced probably by somebody that I think we both know, but who produced I Sit Alone, and how did
it was Don Hammond's at the After Dark studio. And he did an absolutely phenomenal job. I would recommend him to anybody. I'd recommend him to George Strait. That he did really good.
Donnie Hammonds is a cool cat. Now, there's a guy that knew what he wanted. He's a teenager. He gets this plot of land. What does he want to do? I want to build a recording studio. Teenager, 18, 19 years old, already knew what he wanted to do when he grew up, and he's doing it, still doing it after all these years. So, the dreams can come true. You put your mind to it, you keep doing it. I mean, I still want you to get that. If your brain works as good as your sister's does, I want you to get that civil engineer doc in your pocket anyway, just so you could help build bridges and roads and things like that we need to keep this country going, to keep the world going, really, because you could do it anywhere in the world with that kind of knowledge. That's fantastic. Stay in school if you got the brain for it. That's fantastic. I've been to college a bunch of times. It didn't stick real well, but I did get, enough knowledge to do certain things, the broadcasting school and and other things. But, okay, you're playing out. What gave you the courage to go play your first gig, and what was that first gig?
The first time I ever played out was at our hometown Wisteria festival. It's like a arts and crafts festival where they have like a ton of different booths and all that. They had a talent contest the night before, what they do every year. That was my first time playing.
And what songs are you playing out? How many songs do you have in your pocket at this point? And when was this?
It was 4 months after I had just started playing guitar. And I don't know, I have 30 something songs that I do now.
Wow.
And I usually do hour sets, but I did a 3-hour set one time, a 2-hour set. It was a 3-show weekend. Friday I did 2 hours. Saturday I did 3 hours. And Sunday I did 45 that I split with a young lady named Gracie May down here that I like to play with sometimes.
That is fantastic. But the other times it's just you and a guitar solo?
Yes, sir.
Man, that is a power. I have a cousin, Timmy, that plays everything by ear. He hears it on the radio once, and he can play it. So people ask him, and he just takes his guitar and goes all over. He's still in Davie, Florida. So he goes all over that town, playing at pizza joints, at local restaurants, usually for tip money. Sometimes they ask him to be there, but he's a little fun. So sometimes he'll show up. I think it's called busking, to where you just show up and you put your hat out or you put your guitar case out. You can make money that way. And he makes his food money. He makes his extra cheese that way. But that's like one level of the music thing. And you playing at festivals, that's another level. And you playing, you're climbing this ladder of success. If you play at a backyard party for one of your friends, hey, that's another level. Have you played with a band? You said you played with the one girl, and what did she play? Was she playing music as well, or was she helping you with the vocals?
She plays guitar too.
So dueling guitars, that's a very cool. And how does that work? Do you play a rhythm and then somebody plays a lead, or is it all rhythm?
All rhythm.
All rhythm. So you're playing essentially the same song in the same key or in different keys to kind of harmonize the guitars?
It's usually in the same key. I mean, sometimes we'll have different strum patterns that go the same, but they don't sound exactly the same. So they kind of fit together, but they're not exactly the same.
Yeah, that makes a fuller sound. Now, your dad, your uncle, also great musicians. And I'm saying great, even though I haven't heard them play. Have you ever thought about playing with the family band? Do you want to put a band together?
My uncle lives in Virginia, so next time we go up there, we're all going to play together, and I'm going to make sure of it.
Well, that's good, and make sure there's plenty of video. I would love it if he could come down and get in the After Dark studios with you and play together. I mean, that's a niche, having and another way to keep the family together. Nothing's as important as family. They're the ones that are going to back you up more than anybody else. Girls come and go. You already heard about that. You already got that heartache. You're sitting there alone, all alone, but hey, I hope that love happens. I hope that happens in the future. You can, I tell when I'm doing Sweet 16 parties and I'm doing, DJing at different parties, I tell them, stay in school. You can get married when you're 30 and you can date afterwards. Stay in school. Keep your books, and school for you could be either learning in books or mastering the craft of guitar. That's your school, so between the two of those, book learning and guitar learning, music learning, I think we're going to build a Johnathon Heilbroun. Man, you're a good kid. You're a good dude. So far, so good, man. What do your parents think of all this? Obviously, they bought you the guitar. What do they think of? Well, I guess we can hear it from the horse's mouth. Alan's right there. What do they think of what you're doing?
Come over here.
We love it.
Dad,
We're very supportive of what's going on here. So we're just pushing him along the way. Whatever he needs.
Whatever he needs. That is fantastic. Back your kids up. If he's good at math, teach him math. If he's good at playing guitar, help him out with that. That's great. All right. So what's on the horizon? I know I've kept you here for a little bit. What's next for Johnathon Heilbroun music, Johnathon? I get the hook for Alan once again. Okay. And then what's on the horizon? What's coming up next?
Whoop, too far. What do you mean by what's
any other songs in the pipeline? Are you still playing football? Are you joining the marching band? Are you going to take drama, be Peter Pan in the next school play? What's on the horizon for Johnathon Heilbroun? What can people expect from you in the near future? And maybe I don't know, maybe there's a 5-year plan, maybe not. Shoot, you're young. You can do whatever you want.
I'm recording 3 songs this week. 3 songs this weekend.
Who put those together?
Dark Studios with Mr. Donnie. Um, I think the first one will be around July 4th. It's a patriotic song, so so that's a good one that's going to come out. It was sent to me by a good friend of mine out of North Carolina, Mr. Ricky Dunn. And then I have another one my uncle wrote for me, and one more that Mr. Tony Black, he wrote that one for me.
Excellent. I've had him on the podcast, and I think he's coming back on real soon to update what's going on with him. But Tony Black, oh my goodness, if you get involved with him, that man writes lyric after lyric after lyric. I get tagged every day, not just one song, 2, 3, 4. There's songs. How many songs can one person have in their head? There's singers, there's, guitarists, there's musicians, and then there's lyricists. I think Tony Black is a lyricist. And then with Donnie Hammonds, you already have a great team with the After Dark Studios, and you're right there in Georgia. Oh my goodness. So how far away is the studio from you?
2 hours. Roughly 2 hours.
Worth the drive. What's that?
There's no calendar and traffic.
I'm sorry, I stepped over you. Say it again.
It's roughly 2 hours. I mean, we got to go through Atlanta, so you never tell through traffic, I-75, and
Now I've been to Atlanta. I've had a party in Atlanta. What's the big city stuff that you've done?
I haven't played much in the big city. I do take singing lessons there every other week from Mama Jan Studios.
Well, that's good. I want you to give more shout outs. Let's wind this thing down. I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. As time progresses, I want you to come back on and tell the people all about what is happening in the world of Johnathon Heilbroun. Man, I've had a blast talking to you, man. You're good. You're stepping in the right direction. You're keeping it, you're keeping out of trouble. You're walking tall, and you're doing the right things, man. You're a step ahead of the game. Some people don't start this until after they've had a family, and they're like, they have regrets about, okay, I raised my kids, but I didn't get that what if I would have stuck with that playing guitar or playing drums or playing the flute or whatever, or the stand-up comedy. What if I would have stuck with it? And then they don't start until they're in their 40s, 30s, late 30s, early 40s, after they've raised their kids, which is great, raising kids. But here you are, Johnathon, your whole life ahead of you. I want you to give shout-outs to people that have helped you along the way. You've already given a few. If you want to repeat some, or, people that have helped you, because we can't do this all by ourselves for sure.
Oh, it is.
And then I want to give you, the man's got a list. He's ready for the Country Music Awards as they play him off. No, and then I want you to give last words for the people.
People that have helped me is Miss Donna Witten. She runs the local music barn. She does all the booking and all that, and she's helped me a lot. I've played there a few times. Again, my guitar teacher, Johnny Royals, he's absolutely phenomenal. My family, one of my dad's coworkers, Brian McClary and Jake Norton, he's phenomenal. Teaching. If you ask him to tell you what it is on guitar, they can play their heart out. Mr. Clifford Witten and the guys up at the Pick and Shed at our local music barn, they're amazing too. And then Hunter and Heidi Flanagan, they're wonderful people. They help me so much.
Well, Johnathon Heilbroun, you're a good dude. I want you to give some last words to the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe something you wake up with every morning, maybe a mantra, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Johnathon Heilbroun, give the last words for the people.
the biggest thing you'll regret is the chance you didn't take. Oh, wait, no, I said that wrong. Hold on. Is it? Or maybe, no. Oh, no, who was it? Oh, Kobe Bryant said that. Oh, not that, but Kobe Bryant said this. He said, you only miss the shots that you don't take.
Well, there you have it, party people. What a cool dude. 14 and on his way up already. I encourage you to check out Johnathon Heilbroun music on his Facebook and his Instagram. The links are in the show notes below. I even got links to his personal page. So if you want to get to know Johnathon Heilbroun, you can follow him around on his various socials. Do it. Do it. Chase that guy. I mean, then you'll say, oh, yeah, I remember him way back when he's performing in front of 50,000 people, 100,000 people, and they're all screaming, Heilbroun, 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 or whatever. Songs that haven't been written yet, man. So I encourage you to follow him around for sure. And I look forward to hearing those next 3 songs. He's already got I Sit Alone, about a girl. Yeah, inspired by a girl. Broke his heart. Broke his little baby 14-year-old heart. Hey, every heterosexual male has experienced that. Heartbreak. I think every human has experienced that. Heartbreak. If you have a heart to break. And it gives him inspiration to write. All right. And good on keeping the family together with the music. I love it. I love it. I look forward to hearing more from Johnathon Heilbroun and his music. All right. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.